There are two problems with this painting. The first is, it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. Second is, there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. A rather shady one at that. Oh yeah. Suck on that. So where are we going from here? That is all, Your Honor. Jordan fades back. Swoosh! And that's the game! Everyone, please, everyone. Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop. Forgery. That's a serious crime. True, Mishram is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art meaning forgery? Drew Mishram was talented, alright. Talented at making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Oh, like... Exactly, I'm talking about forging evidence. Oh, no. The rumors started circulating 7 years ago. Oh. Oh, man. Oh boy, this just got really ugly. Looks like our victim was living a double life. Do it, Apollo. So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about. And this is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation. Well, yeah, I mean... Maybe he just... There's no proof tying this letter to our case. What even is our case? Well, our case is whether the daughter killed him. Yeah. I don't know, though. Yeah, I figured that much. Yeah, I mean, he was the one that went and changed the subject. Acumen. My journalism is rock solid. You could stand an elephant on it. In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over. He's talking about going back over it again really fast. You know. Well, that's kind of shitty. Sorry about my sniffling. It's a little bit... Can't really help it, man. I'm sorry. Mr. Brushell, your testimony, please. If you have anything left. The interview. A recap. Here we go. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She's admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. Nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing! Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. I insist on this. A nice testimony. Clear, succinct, and without room for doubt. Oh, shucks. You really think, though? I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. Ugh. I didn't see shit. Still have one trump card left to play. And I won't let this trial end until I use it. Okay. Alright, well, let me just blow my nose. I know, that's ridiculous. Ooh, that was a good blow. A lot of snot came out on that one. I know. I'm disgusting. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. Let's just do this. That doesn't prove Vera poisoned it. Well, I don't know. It kind of does. I mean... The thing is, we don't know when the mug was poisoned. I mean, is the poison, like, does it keep? Like, if you put it on the mug and then you let it sit there for 3 days and then somebody drinks from it, would they still get poisoned? I think that would be an interesting question to ask, but we don't know that. You need a horse beat? I'm your man. Yeah, well, yeah, that's definitely Vera, who poured the coffee, she's admitted as much herself. Well, sure, she probably didn't even know the thing was poisoned. And you witnessed her pouring the coffee. Of course I didn't witness it. When she came in with that tray, the coffee was already poured and steaming. Does it even matter? It wasn't the coffee that was poisoned anyway. Yeah. What? When did she say that? Aw. Oh. Wow. Okay, well, you got that right. The only thing that touched her was lips during the interview with that mug. Not yours? Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. What? One of those candies might have been poisoned. Yet, at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. Oh. Maybe not prove it, not yet. Okay. Possibility isn't gonna cut it, not now. Alright. Ooh. No. It can't be proven. I do believe our little forehead is growing up. Pity, we like the rash, youthful forehead best. Let me guess, he heard that from a critic. A music critic. Another hole in this case that needs plugging before I can prove anything. Well, guess what, Apollo? I got good news for you. Affleck! Affleck! Anyway. On with the cross-examination. He's so cheerful about it. And nothing left that studio after he died. Why does that even matter? Yep, sure can be. Well, with one exception. Uh-oh. Journalist Spark Brussels does interview. Leave studio. So you left, you know. Is that what you're saying? Well, I was gonna say, technically, if you left, that would be something. Does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Left the studio that night. I think I heard it in the, Case 1-3 in Lucagen's video. Left the studio. Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night? I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean something other than our witness. Of course. I think I have a better chance with this than whatever that other question was. Don't tell me, Avril Lavigne. Vera mission. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene. The mailbox. Bam! This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. But that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, you took it with you. Oh, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Well, yeah, it kind of does, because, you know... I mean, it doesn't change things in the sense... Oh, forget it. I'm done trying to explain myself. Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Yeah! I mean, he was still... Well, does it have anything to do with a murder, though? I don't know. That part, I'm not sure. I mean, Yeah, well... Where are we going with this, though? Because I keep thinking of the note in the red envelope with the money deal, and I'm thinking that his yellow envelope was like the beginning of another deal that he was starting. Or, well... Yeah, buddy. Stop saying yeah, buddy, good lord. It hardly matters. Well, you're about to see just how much it matters. Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. And you were hiding that fact from us. Yes, well, actually... I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared from that studio. But Herr Forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Yes, they have, and what he's told us means something entirely different now, I'm starting to think. Oh, okay, hang on. What has he told us? Clearly the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. Where are we in the testimony here? Was this here before? I don't know. I say clearly as though it were obvious. But this claim that the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture. Oh yes, well, you see, in my business, it's all about making the most ridiculous thing sound right. A bad habit, I know. Here we go again. Well, actually, I guess it's more a case of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong. The court is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture. Understood loud and clear. Kinda does, but at the same time. Okay. How and why? Are we supposed to know that this early in the case, though? That's the thing. Vera poured the coffee. That's not going to change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find out what did and prove it. Well, the thing is, there was poison. I mean, we know that, right? It'd be awfully convenient for someone to poison him, you know, or for poison to be there, but then that not be the thing that killed him. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee, and we know that. Well, let me look at something here. What else might he... Oh, I know what it is. The only thing that touched Drew's lips there in the interview was that mug. No. Because if he... Oh, did he seal the yellow envelope? That's not the yellow envelope. We don't have the yellow envelope here, do we? But... Let me see. What else might he have... Ugh. Well, hang on a second now. Here's the other thing. We do have the tiny frame. And this had poison on it too for reasons that I can't even begin to imagine why. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with... Okay, that must have been... Okay, so the enclosed envelope, maybe that was the yellow one? And the stamp. Oh dear God, that is all over this. Holy crap. Okay, maybe not. Well, because he said they are related, but that's not where I was meant to go with it. Okay, fine. Dang, dude. I don't think that won me any points with the judge! We don't have just the stamp, do we? Or like... We don't have shit. Or well, we do, but we don't, but we do, but we don't. But we do, but we don't, 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 but we don't, but we do, but we don't, but we do. Wabbit season. Duck season. I say it's duck season. And I say fire. Okay, that... Why did I do that? Oh, Lord. I think I better save, because we're in a bad spot here. There's that log. Let me press this one again. Sure about that. Would be really, really precise. I was busy got like mint candies. It feels like forever since we talked about this. Yet at the time of the LLC, no mint residue was found. Okay, here we go. Maybe this is it. Hang on. Just supposed to be around other than the coffee. Yeah, here we go. Proof is possible. Here goes nothing. Jeez. You do understand what we need, yeah? Double penalty? What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. Uh-huh. Look. Yeah, at 9 o'clock at night. Yep. As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp. Alright, anyway. Where are we going now? Feh! No one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. Well, even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead, after all. My god. Okay, so we licked the stamp, but wait! How does that explain the atroquinine on the rim of the coffee mug, exactly? If he licked the back of the poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue. And then the poison would go from his mouth to the mug. Okay, that makes sense. Bingo. Mr. Mission poisoned the coffee mug! Do you have any idea how ridiculous that sounds? He poisoned the coffee mug! That poor little coffee mug didn't do anything to... Oh... Total recall, if you would. Atroquinine is a slow-acting poison. The poison entered his golden body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up till the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. Oh, so sensual. What you got? Of course. Oh, he sniffs that story out, don't you? Doesn't he? Isn't he? Yeah, it is. As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one. Maybe just run out. I already know what's wrong here, but we'll play along. We searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime, and there were no stamps. Not a single goddamn one. That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison? I don't need to. Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible. Yes, it does. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place. Oh, but just you watch. Just you watch. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison poop? Crying out loud, you crazy people. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, I think our beloved attorney has been licking too many stamps and... Dude, well, you've been sniffing too many markers, you fruit roll-up. Do you smile like that when you torture all your victims, or just... Take care of the week. What?! What?! That was totally it, wasn't it?! Oh! Because the letter says there was a stamp enclosed. That is the only proof we have that there was a stamp there at all. But then again, we haven't proven that this letter is connected to the yellow one, so maybe not. Have we? Oh my god. There wouldn't be anything else, right? Oh, wait a second. Is it the tiny frame? I'm gonna try it. Is this going to explain it then? It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection, so what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. Or you didn't have a nice girl like Emma Skye to help you find the really important things in life. A pale bullshit stain on the inside of the frame. That's what I thought it said for a second there. Atroquinine residue! So what you got to say about that? Because you're a dick to Emma and she didn't want to help you. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch wide at most. You aren't saying... Yeah. Oh, but I am. Tell me. What fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps. Commemorative stamp. Maybe he was kind of a collector? I don't know, dude. Impossible! Well, why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck. Well, yeah. You know, can I say something? I have thought, Fee. Oh, jeez. The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges, friends make enemies too. Ooh. Alright, dude. Boy, you're really in it today, aren't you? Oh, Rich. That's Rich. Richie Rich. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gaviner song lyrics, please. Oh, finally something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon. Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, but I disagree. Come again? Recall, if you would. Total recall again. The victim's reclusive lifestyle. Drew miss him, hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail. The mail. Of course. Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew red letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof! Show us evidence that its poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. Might not have evidence, per se, but things are finally starting to... Yes, they are. Now's when we do it. Fists are trembling. Yeah, I know. Right. Oh, I almost don't want to do it now, because Because of how it backfired last time. Okay, yeah, we're right now. Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. The envelope, rather. I don't know. What do you say? Envelope or envelope? I always said envelope, but I've heard people say it the other way. It doesn't sound weird to me or anything. It's just one of those things. I don't know. Ooh, I need a drink of water. That just struck me as weird, because how often do you see that? Well, I don't know. You can see it sometimes. Like if you donate to Wounded Warrior Project, sometimes they'll send you little, like, requests for more. But they include the stamp with it, so... Enclosed stamps there. No, not unless he was a procrastinator, you know. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath, and the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene. Are we trying to make a statement here? That's pretty dirty. No. I don't think so. That guy is so skinny. That is the 3rd time you've done that now. You are seriously on crack today. Such a splendid imagination you have, hair, forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So... this poison stamp was inside this envelope from 7 years ago. Is that what you'd have us believe? Really? So yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, I mean... Yeah, I mean, if it was in the envelope, why did he put it in a frame? Would it just be an ordinary stamp? Pretty small. Think we'll have to do that tomorrow. It was 7 years ago. We don't even know who sent that letter. And your answer is silence, I see. Very well. I move to... Oh my god. Oh my god. Is it Edgeworth? It's totally Edgeworth, isn't it? I don't want to press it. I want to think. It's probably Emma, but I don't know. But they're talking like in German, so let's see. Oh! What? Wait, what? What? It was showing Gavin there for a second. The other Gavin, the brother. What? What? Are you serious? Oh, God, good lord, yeah. Oh, you tell him, Emma. You can find out if that stamp was in that envelope easy. You can glare at me all you want, but science is on my side, you tell him. It's all in the residue, right? That's right! The poison detection spray! Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of the court. Booyah! Oh, I have to click it again. Well, would you look at that? No mistaking it. That's atroquinine residue. Oh, damn. I don't believe it. You better believe it. A murder weapon from the past. Now, 7 years later, it bares its fangs and sinks them in. Sinks them into the tender. Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago? Huh. There's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Miss M figured it out. Oh, God. He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead. That's why he would put the stamp in the thing. So he sent his reply with a different stamp. And put his decisive evidence in a frame. There you go. Oh my gosh. Oh, what now? Oh no. Oh, I was so... Can I make a statement here on the record? I, Spark Razor Toothbrushels, claim the scoop as mine. Get out of here. Oh my god, go away, please. We're done with you. I want to look at the cute girl, not you. If I was in the movies, I'd be with a hot chick, not you, Babar. Though I admit, this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached its mouth after 7 years. Well, if this is true, then it was a suicide. Right? Because if he knew it was poisoned and then used it anyway... I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant. I believe we did? Wait, what? 4 times now! A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago. Tickets for Gavinier's shows are invalid after 2 weeks. Huh. It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Herr Forehead's claim. A contradiction? A poisoned stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago. Whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Bishop have done what he did? There you go. Emma explained that. He must have realized it was poisoned. Yeah, but then why did he use it? He did use it, right? Okay. Yeah. Surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Miss M simply forgot. No. He put the murder weapon in a frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself? Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. Oh man. Well, it's at the end of this trial. I get the feeling, while I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years. Apollo, I don't think we're winning anymore. No. Glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you. Oh, man. There's a screenshot. Whoa, okay. It was there. No, but... Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. Well, I mean, the letter said there was an enclosed stamp, and the letter was from 7 years... Well, that's the thing. Are we sure that the letter was from 7 years ago? Just because it was in an envelope from 7 years ago? I just don't know. No, I mean, I don't think he would have used it either, but then... Oh. But then why is the poison in that one little spot on the mug? I mean... Yeah. Sometime this year. Well, Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Misham... Is it Misham, maybe? I've been saying Misham. Misham seems better. Received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison atroquinine on the document inside that envelope. A similar trace was also found at the crime scene on this tiny picture frame. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope. An envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it. But even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Misham, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp. Which means there is a fatal flaw in the defense's case. Crap. I know. And the mug. Come on, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense. Which means that one of our clues must be a fake. Oh. Huh. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? Oh, God! Well, that's what I've been saying, the red envelope. I believe it's the red envelope. I don't think the letter is 7 years old.
Objection!
Well, I presented what was inside of it. Oh. Oh, well. Huh. The fake clue, Drew Misham himself? Did he fake his death? He couldn't have faked his death, could he? I mean, we haven't heard anything about... Well, no, we do have an autopsy report. Never mind. The frame? The frame just doesn't seem significant enough. I'm gonna try Drew Misham. Because that's just too crazy of an answer to not be it. Mm-hmm.
Objection!
Well... Yeah, better write it down, Mr. Whoever, whatever your name was. The fake clue, fakes, forgeries. Oh! Uh-oh. Alright. Okay. 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into that very same trap and dies. Why? Because the forger who was killed was a fake. But... Okay. Did the fake know he was getting killed? I'm confused. One forger smelled the trap, one forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake. Oh my goodness. Well, at this point, I don't... Mr. Justice, show us just who the real Drew Misham was. If Drew Misham wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person it could have been. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, we only have 8 people here, and I think we can safely rule out Phoenix and Trucy and Gavin and obviously him too, because he's not. And Emma, we can rule her out. Pretty sure we can rule this guy out, because he hasn't really been a part of this. I don't want to think that... Well, I mean, didn't he say before stuff about, like, you know, he said a lot of things about stuff like the news writing itself and, you know, making the ridiculous real and things like that. Did I just screw up? If it's anybody else besides him, then that's going to be a real mind trip. It's actually going to give me another chance here. Holy crap. Well, I guess because the bar is not up there. Oh, thank God. The real forger. Oh. Was it the daughter? I mean, what I'm trying to figure out here is, like... Okay, you're saying that Drew Misham was a forgery. So the real So the real forger made him? What did the real forger forge? The paintings, or him, or everything, or... I guess I have to try the daughter. Oh, damn. The real identity of the forger, known as Drew Misham, is none other than his only daughter. Oh, what was I saying at the beginning of this about that? Oh. Man, I wish I could remember that guy's name. Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb even for you. I kind of agree. I mean, Vera, a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger. And he probably didn't drink Folgers. Ugh, wow. One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the studio. His and hers. Ah, okay. So she could have been forging the paintings, I could see that. And I guess... Well... 5! That's 5 times now! Fascinating. I guess they had to get all these in before the end of the game, you know? Oh, I didn't want it to be you. You've been paying attention to the trial so far. Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger, Drew Misham? Oh no. Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? I believe it was. She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. Maybe that's how Gatto lost his eyes. I'm used to being stared at by Fräuleins, believe me. Or Fräuleins. They usually... Well, though they usually talk to me, too. Tell us. Who do you work for? Oh, were you the one who forged those works of art? No, I was copying, you know? Imitating. Yes. So the forger Drew Misham was you. Oh, you like Drew Barrymore. I get it now. Yes, it was me. Damn. We sure did. Oh, God. Man, why can't I think of that guy's name? Ugh, I want to say it's something that starts with a W. Like Steve Wozniak or some shit like that. You know, I'm going to go look it up real quick. Okay, it's Walter Keane. That's the guy I'm thinking of. And it turns out, like in real life, this actually happened in real life too. His wife made these paintings and he took the credit for them. And then eventually she got him back, you know, and claimed that she... whatever, but still, it's weird how I mentioned at the beginning of this case, what if that's a parallel to it? Or what if it's a parallel to that? And it's not really, but in some sense it kind of is, because it's like, he was claiming, well, he wasn't claiming to be the forger either. We thought he was, and then it turned out to be her who was really doing it, so it's like, in some sense, it was a similar story. Anyway, oh my god, it's 1 in the morning. I could do this all night, I'm telling you, man. Oh, it's just so good to be back home. I've been driving for 10 hours today, while me and Mom have kind of been taking shifts with it, and so thank God for that, too. Anyway, here's my mouse cursor again. Enjoy it. So next time on next time on Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice, how deep does the rabbit hole go? Only time will tell. See you guys later.